Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married at First Sight season 16 episode 4. If you're new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. It is a wedding night. Okay, so all of the couples are going to their hotel suites and whatnot. And first up is Kirsten and Shaq. Oh, he carried her over the threshold and whatnot. So she's like, I had a great time. I really had a great time tonight. Ma'am, it wasn't a date. It was your wedding. She was like, I had such a great time. He said, he had a great time as well. He was speechless when he saw her and he really wants to make their marriage work. So she kind of shrugged it off a little bit, right? He said, you want to make it work? Like, what was that? Why did you do that? She's like, no, it's just a lot, but I do want to make it work. I call BS, child. I call BS. So then he asked her if he could kiss her like she wanted him to do. So y'all remember a few episodes ago, she was like, he didn't even ask if he could kiss me. Like I want him to ask me. So he asked her if he could kiss her. And she was like, no, I feel like, yeah, she curbed him just like I knew that she would. Girl, you are full of it. It doesn't matter how he asked. He could have been down on bended knee. You still were going to say no because you are not physically attracted to Shaquille O'Neal. So she's like, in her confessional, we really have to get to know each other. I want to ease into things, because I feel like a kiss would make you want to do other things, like maybe have sex. Girl, that peck was not going to lead to no sex. You don't even like him like that. So you kissing him, which I know wasn't going to be no tongue involved, you pecking him with a closed, tight lip was not going to lead you down the road to Pound Town. Girl, goodbye. Moving forward. So she goes in and gets changed, honey, and comes out of her Mrs. Roper bridal robe. Y'all remember Mrs. Roper from Three's Company and how she used to have on that feathery robe and she would come out and try to get all zhuzhed up for Mr. Roper? It was giving a fancy bridal Mrs. Roper. Do y'all hear me? Dominique and McKinley. So they're sitting there in the hotel suite and she's asking him if he snores. He's saying he doesn't, but I'm not sure if he knows if he does or not. But he did say that he talks in his sleep. So then she's like, well, I kind of snore, but I don't really, child, I don't care, child. I really don't. Let's get to the honeymoons of it all. So he helped her out of her dress. You know how they like to do the slow motion zip down. Child, that dress was so loose, she could have pulled it over her head if we really want to be real. He said that he was very physically attracted to his wife and he's looking forward to getting to know her. And she said, listen, I'm not rushing. Okay, we're going to go with the flow and whatever happens, just happens. So she has this body pillow that's dividing them when they get in the bed with no baths. Now, I don't know if Married at First Sight edits these, times when they're in the hotel suite and then cut and paste them together because I have never, with the exception of Alexis, ever seen nobody hop in that shower before they hop in that bed. It's giving gross. So she has this body pillow in between the two of them. And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, the last time we had a body pillow in between a couple, it was Bow and Johnny. Bow, 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 boom, 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 boom. Shout out to Hurricane Chris. Shout out to Bow. So that was the last time. And I was just like, oh my God, is this an omen? It's always a problem when it's a pillow in between them. Honey, it's giving problems already. Jasmine and Eris. So when they get to the room, he's a little bit more talkative. He said he was grateful for her. He was grateful for the experts. He just was having a good time, honey. He was all to the grateful. He even complimented how beautiful her dress was. And I was like, okay. He's warming up just a little bit. So she said that they're both attracted to each other and she feels a little vulnerable about taking off all of her makeup. Listen, Jasmine, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. You're a very pretty lady and you're going to be fine. Once you wipe your paint off, he can either accept it or not. Okay, because eventually he's going to have to see your real face. So just be you and lead with that because he going to act a fool either way it go. So just go and do what you're going to do. And baby, Jasmine came out and showed the girls how it's done with the wedding night lingerie. When I tell y'all, baby, she came out from head to toe. I was like, girl, you ain't bathing. You put that on? Oh, no, ma'am. But it was still giving. Honey, it was giving. It was giving all the zhuzh that should be given, honey. Yes, ma'am. When he saw her, he definitely perked up. Because at first he was like, I'm just so tired. I hope that she just wants to go to sleep. I'm not really in the mood to be doing anything besides going to sleep. Baby, when she stepped out of that restroom in that lingerie, I said, oh, honey, he perked up then. You ain't tired no more. I see you. Moving forward. Side note, yes, I know it's pronounced lingerie. Before anybody get down in the comments and be like, why are you calling it lingerie? It's lingerie. I know. Child is the fool. Clint and Gina. So they're in their suite. They're having a little small talk. And she said that she likes Clint. He's calm. He's peaceful. And he can calm a room and also bring it back to life. And he's easy on the eyes. Ma'am, how did you get all of that out of the few hours that y'all have known each other? And somebody lying. You might have a little line problem, Gina, because on that after party, you said that you were not attracted to Clint. Okay? No, you said you weren't attracted to him. Clint is like, yeah, I mean, on the first night, he usually consummate the marriage. So we'll see. I'm ready for whatever. Yeah, ready to make his wife number 6,876,543. No, thank you. And when Clint took off that shirt, baby, he better not fix his mouth to speak on anybody's physique. Do you hear me? I said, what is that, honey? Clint is giving hairy, scary monster, child. He is giving hairy, scary monster. I wouldn't let Clint even look at me, let alone touch me. Okay, because all I could think of when I saw him laying out, sprawled out with that hair showing, all I could hear was bow, chicka, bow, bow, and I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. Day 1 of marriage. So it's the first morning. All of the couples are waking up as husband and wife. They pan over to Gina and Clint, and she's asking Clint and his chest hairs how he slept. And he said he slept okay. So then he tells us that he didn't have the sexuals last night, even though he wanted to. I'm sure you did. So then Gina starts talking to him about work and how she left everything behind, and little by little, she's trying to loosen the reins and be more present and not always talk about work. But Gina, you're always talking about work. That's all you've been talking about so far. I'm going to need you to ask questions. You two have not talked about anything that pertains to the two of you getting to know each other outside of you talking to him about your work, Gina. You are wrapped up. Your identity is wrapped up in that work, honey. Ciao. Kirsten and Shaq. So they're waking up. She said she felt comfortable sleeping next to Shaquille. She's like, we didn't have sex. Child, we know y'all didn't have no sex, honey. You did not have to reassure us. If it's one couple we know didn't have sex, it's y'all. So they start talking about what a great time they had at the wedding, including how their families just meshed together and they also had a good time. And so she was asking him about his routine. And he said, look, I like to be clean before I go to bed. Okay, with the exception of this room right here. Because I ain't see you bathe, Shaq. You wouldn't put them basketball shorts on and got right on in that bed. It's giving nasty. It's giving nasty, child. Unless they edited it out. Okay, now if they edited it out, my apologies to you. But I don't think they did. But otherwise, I know that's right, honey, because I got to be clean before I get in my bed as well. So she was asking him if he brushes his teeth that night. He said, yeah, I'm very particular. I love teeth. I even wanted to be a dentist because I really love teeth. And she was like, well, sometimes I brush mine at night and sometimes I don't. Now, I know people are going to be in an uproar like, you don't brush your teeth at night. Let me tell you something. When I first had my son, I was going to the bed to get in it and go to sleep. So some nights, no, I did not brush my teeth that night. So, baby, I'm not going to judge. Honey, I'm getting in that bed and I'm going to sleep before he wake back up and start crying about something that don't make no sense. McKinley and Dominique. No Pound Town for them either. So they're eating breakfast. And she was like, he's very sweet and thoughtful. And I really do feel a connection. So he asked if she cooks. And she's like, well, not as much because it's just me. But then she starts naming everything that she does make. So he's like, well, of course you make that because you like to do a lot of fishing. She said, oh, yeah, I have a freezer full of catfish. He's like, I never had catfish. Now, was it me? Or did the catfish change his mood? Did y'all see how he was looking when she said, yeah, I have a freezer full of catfish? He was looking like, what? Why would you have that? Yuck. Like he was really looking disgusted. And sir, how have you never had catfish? Boy, goodbye. Snooki and Vinny, a.k.a. Chris and Nicole. So they start talking about eating in bed. They're asking a lot of surface questions. She's like, so, what's your routine? Do you eat in bed? Normally I don't because of the dog hair. And he's like, yeah, it's just too much. She's like, well, let's just enjoy the doggy hair free bed that we have. I'm like, what are y'all talking about, y'all? They are made for each other. Now, I don't know if this gonna work out, but for right now, they are made for each other. So she also asked him if he was an on-time person. And she basically said she is not. She said, if I have an hour to do something, I need an hour and 30 minutes. So he said, well, I know it's not because of makeup, because you're just such a natural beauty. Now, I have to say this. Nicole does look really pretty and fresh faced, because even when I was looking at her when she was doing her interview, I said, Nicole looks really pretty without makeup. She really does. Well, baby, what'd he say that for? She was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. So, child, she crying into these eggs. She said he literally makes her feel more special than anyone ever has. Child, that is a sin and a shame. It's been a few compliments and she is head over heels. Her daddy should have been grilling whoever those deadbeats were Nicole had been dealing with instead of over here grilling Chris. She signed up for this, honey. Because that right there don't make no sense. It was a compliment. Nicole can't even get into her eggs good because she crying. And baby, eggs too high to be crying into them. You can't be crying into the eggs, honey. Eat your eggs, child. Eris and Jasmine. So, of course, she gets up to get the breakfast. Now, mind you, these are little things and little nuances that I recognized. Okay, first it was the open hand on some of the grooms and some of the brides, which let me know that there are some disconnects. Then we have Eris and Jasmine is getting up to get the breakfast. All the other men got up. It's giving, let me cater to you, cause Eris, this is your day. We already starting wrong, child. It's already starting wrong. So they sit down, they're having breakfast, and he's like, I see you got the swine over there. Sir, let that lady eat in peace. Let her enjoy her breakfast. Worry about your cream of wheat. Don't worry about what she got going on over here. I can't stand people that pick my food apart. Listen, your choices are your choices. I don't judge you. So please do not judge me as I eat my bacon. So goodbye. So they started to talk about their families, and he brings up his cousin having concerns. Honey, she's more than concerned. She's a little bit too involved. And quite frankly, she needs to back up and mind her business. Now, at first, when she was talking about how you were for the streets, I was like, okay, the cousin is looking out. But now she's overstepping boundaries and she must be stopped. Moving forward, Kirsten and Shaq. So she's meeting his uncle because it's time for them to meet the family and the friends. For what, I don't know, because we just met the family and the friends at the wedding reception. But anywho, here we go. She's meeting with his uncle and his friends, and she's telling them that they slept great, but they had a conversation about him being so busy and not having enough time for her. And she wants to make sure that she's accommodating, but not too accommodating, that he's like putting her on the back burner. And I mean, we already see a little bit of it happening. Okay. But I also think Kirsten is just making excuses already. Like, let me see something. Okay, you're too busy for work. My answer is no on decision day. Like, give the man a chance to try to acclimate to being married. If he can't, and then you're being put on the back burner, then make a decision. So he's meeting with her cousin and her friend's child. And her friend is like, Kirsten is very intentional. She wants to be a wife. She wants to have children. Well, honey, if she want to have children, she going to have to let him kiss her first. But anyway, let's continue to hear what you have to say. She's like, she wants to be sure that, you're truly here. And I want to be sure that this is what you truly had to go through to find your wife. Because, I'm just not settled. He said, well, I signed up for this and I saw ads and I saw billboards and they just kept coming to me. So I felt like I should sign up. So then her sister is like, well, it seems like everything is just coming to you. So what if Kirsten doesn't come to you right away? Like, what if she doesn't warm up to you? He said, I feel like it's all about balance. We have to get to know each other. So then Elise, that's the bridesmaid that had the braids with the hair in the bun, the one that should have been over there with Paige on season 12. Elise tells him that Kirsten is going to be slow, to open up. But if he's consistent, then she's going to blossom. 3 the hard way. Y'all coming on awful strong, child. Y'all are coming on awful strong. Give the man a damn chance. Clearly, whatever she was doing was not working, so she signed up for this show. She also decided to take this route. So should his family be saying to her, why did you feel like you had to take this route? Are you serious? Are you intentional? Child ain't got time. McKinley and Dominique. So he goes to meet with her mom and her grandmother, and her mom wastes no time. She was like, have you ever been engaged? He said no. He started saying how in his 30s he had serious relationships, and then he started to work and this, that, and this and So then the grandma is like, well, I mean, they haven't snatched you up. It's a lot of women out here hungry for a man. Grandma, you so sweet and so pretty. No disrespect, but honey, we are not hungry for a man, okay? And I mean, some of us are a little parched, okay? Some of us are getting thirsty. But if we're talking about hungry for a man, is that Dominique? Because her mama show signed her up for the show. So then her mom was like, well, have you ever dated a black woman? And he said that he mostly dated white and Latina. But he has dated black women with no luck. Probably because of that mama. I can almost guarantee you it's because of that mama. So her grandmother said in the confessional that Dominique is used to it, but it may be a new challenge for McKinley. It's definitely going to be a challenge, but not for the reasons that y'all think. And I'm just trying to figure out, are they going to ask him if he's okay with the black woman every time they see him? Mom, and again, you signed him up for this. You should have been more specific on the questionnaire or whatever they ask y'all, child. Please make sure he is of the same race so we don't have to continue to ask if he and his family are given guess who's coming to dinner. Please make sure. Over on the other side, Dominique is meeting with his family. Let me tell y'all something. That mama already had her nose turned up as soon as Dominique sat down. She got a mean side eye on her. I would have been uncomfortable. There's no way I would have sat with that mama. Just absolutely no way. So she tells them that he's exceeded her expectations. So they ask her why she wanted to do this. We already heard this. Didn't they talk about this at the wedding? Oh, child. They gave us 30 minutes off, so I'm just going to go on and go with it, y'all. It was only an hour and 30 minutes this week. So let's get into it. So she said her mom watches the show and signed her up for it because she felt like she really deserved someone that was going to love her. So you mean to tell me that your mama watched season 12 and decided to subject her daughter to it? Child, is it too late to be emancipated? Child, it ain't no way. Oh, it is no way that my mom would ever watch this show as she does. Okay, she does watch Married at First Sight. She would never call me on my cellular phone and say, you know what, Misha, I think you would be good for Married at First Sight. Because she gonna hear, the number you have reached has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please hang up and dial your operator. Baby, don't call me when I'm Married at First Sight news, honey. Not nothing. Like, girl, say what? So his mom is like, yeah, well, I still think it's nuts. Well, listen, mom, it's done now. So don't be mistreating Dom. Okay. What's done is done. Okay, mommy dearest. Child, mommy dearest is not feeling Dominique at all. So then his best friend was like, well, you know, he's not from here. So his mom was like, well, what if he wanted to move back to Michigan? She's saying no on decision day. She was like, well, I don't know. I mean, because you guys are so far away. My mom is like right around the corner. Let me find out that she gonna make sure that McKinley moves on back down to Michigan so he can get far, far away from Dominique. And she ain't fooling me. I already know what time it is, mommy dearest. No wire hanger. Oh, honey, this is a fool. Gina and Clint. She's meeting with his dad friends. And they're like, so, I mean, you've seen him with at least his jacket off. So do you think he's hot? Child, Clint should keep his clothes on at all times. Do you hear me? At all times. She said, yeah, I think he's hot, but normally I'm attracted to tall, dark, and handsome. I'm never really attracted to lighter hair, you know, even like blondes. But my ex, he had blonde hair and a red beard. Like he was kind of gingery. And isn't Gina the one that said attraction can grow and she doesn't really care about the looks? Y'all just be lying all the way up and through, honey. Back over on the other side, Gina's sister-in-law is asking Clint what could be a problem to make him shut down, as you know, as it pertains to him and Gina. And he said, you know, if they aren't trying to discover each other's viewpoints, you know, and they're not trying to get to see each other's side, but he feels like they're going to be able to talk it out. He got all the right answers, but we already know he gonna be a jerk. So I'm not buying nothing that he's selling, okay? Absolutely nothing. So he asked, what should he be worried about? They said that she has no time, you know, between business and traveling, and there's not going to be a lot of time for each other. He said they're going to have to merge their lives together, but eventually they're going to work it out. Nicole and Chris. So he's meeting with her mom and dad, and Chris asked them if they had any concerns. Baby, her daddy quickly piped up. He said, yeah, so I was instantly concerned that she was doing this, but you guys are already married. So her mom was like, so are you ready for marriage? He said, yeah, I think I am. So dad was like, well, you already are, right? He knows, Dad. Then he's in the confession. He's like, well, serial killers are nice people too. Not saying he's a serial killer. You should be over there with Dominique's mama. You and Miss Taylor might need to get together. Dad gives me anxiety. Okay, he's too much at all times. And I see where Nicole gets all that extra energy, honey. It's anxious energy and I don't like it. Dad, take it easy before you scare him off. Your daughter is crying into her eggs over a compliment. So don't act like she was held at gunpoint to sign up for this show. Okay, because that's not how it went down. Moving forward. He's like, well, talk is cheap. Like, we're just sitting here. We're talking all day at this point. Listen, at this point, all we can do is wait and see, Dad. Okay? And if it's not working out at the end, Snooki can leave Vinny and go back to the Jersey Shore by her damn self. Take it easy. Over on the other side, she's meeting with his mother and his father and his brother. And his mom is saying, Chris is the best of the best, basically. So his brother said that he tends to be consumed with his relationships. Now, I'm hoping that he doesn't lose himself in Nicole. I'm hoping that he doesn't immerse himself with all things Snooki and he does not know how to separate himself from her and starts to be codependent. I hope that he's not one of those. Nicole said, well, I don't like being smothered because I like to go out. And if he says that I can't go, that's going to be a problem. So his mom was like, well, it's all about a mutual respect, right? I can see that Nicole might pull he's too nice. I think she's going to pull the he's too nice card, even after she's dealt with nothing but bozos. I really do feel it in my spirit that is going to be what this is going to be. I'm hoping I'm wrong, y'all. I'm really hoping I'm wrong. So his dad said, listen, if it's not working, don't drag it out. I know that's right, Daddy, honey. Let me know and let me go. Moving forward. Jasmine and Eris. So he's with her family. And he's like, so is Jasmine organized? Child, he be asking any old thing. Oh my goodness. Eris be asking any old thing. So how's the weather, sir? Anywho, so her dad said when she's working, she's like a drill sergeant. But otherwise, she's pretty laxed. So her dad said, listen, I want you guys to just be yourself. You be Eris and let her be Jasmine. And that's how it's going to work. And he said that he was dependent on Eris to take care of Jasmine because he was basically passing the reins to him. And I just have to say, I love Jasmine's family. I just love her family. Like, can y'all adopt me? If y'all ain't doing nothing else. I got my own family and whatnot. So we can all just like merge together and, just be one big happy family. I just love her family. Over with Jasmine, child, she meeting with that family, honey, and that cousin. So production asked his cousin, how do you feel about his new wife? And she starts laughing. When I tell y'all that pissed me off. Because what is so funny? Like, why are you laughing right now? She's like, oh, I'm sorry. Just you saying wife, that's crazy. No, you know what's crazy? What's crazy is you keep wearing these ill-fitting tops and no bra. At this point, you just being mean to Jasmine. You're trying to give support, but them boobs need some support. I don't like it. I feel like you're just being mean to her for no reason. And I don't like a bully. So stop it. So she sits down and she asks Jasmine, why is it so important to have this type of relationship? A marriage? Girl, what are you saying? This type of relationship is important to a lot of people. So they asked her if she's ever lived with a man. And she said that she did live with her ex and they broke up 7 months ago. Skirt. Now, Jasmine, that is a little bit soon, honey. That was just last week. You could potentially still be playing on his phone, still looking at his Instagram, honey, still having somebody like 7 months ago. So Jasmine said to her, of course, it's been a short time, but you break up with them mentally way before you actually leave the relationship. And that's true, but still 7 months and then you just jump into a marriage. So she's like, I feel like you have all the pageant answers. And I'm just trying to figure out, are you really thinking about what I'm saying to you before you answer? Ma'am, she don't have to prove nothing to you. I would have to let her have it. When I tell y'all I would have to let her have it, I would read her up and down in the most nice, nasty way possible. Since you don't want Miss Congeniality, I'll give you a reason to worry about your cousin. Girl, if you don't back off, we got to worry about that cousin of yours, to be honest. While you sitting here giving her the 3rd degree. Shaquille and Kirsten. Child, done got on my nerves. So they meet back up to talk because everybody's had their meetings. And he tells her that, people don't understand the silent battles. His family is supportive, but they don't understand how lonely he was. So she asked why he didn't share with the family. He said he fell into the strong black man trope, always having to have it together, be the provider and the protector. And she said that she struggles with the same thing as far as like always having to be the strong one and not telling people when something is wrong. So they're going to have to work on that together. And I really just hate how not only black men, but men in general have to stifle their emotions to appear more masculine. Like if I want to cry, I'm going to cry. Okay, if I want to hurt, then I'm going to hurt. And it starts at a young age. And you look at your son and say, stop it, boys don't cry. So now he's an emotionally unavailable man. So now he over here on Married at First Sight looking crazy. So I just feel like, we should teach our boys that it's okay to have emotions. They're normal. I mean, you're human. So he said that he feels like they can be transparent with each other and talk through things. Jasmine and Eris. So she's telling him that his cousins had a lot to say about her answering questions, but the cousin definitely has his back. And no matter how it makes her feel, that's just her way. No, ma'am, we're not going with that's just her way. Your feelings actually do matter, and she needs to make sure that she approaches you accordingly. She wouldn't be invited to my house on holidays, honey. If you're going to have that type of attitude, then you can stay on the outside. He was like, yeah, I mean, me and Fal was super close. And I mean, she don't sugarcoat nothing and she going to have my back. Well, sir, it's giving kissing cousins at this point and it's tacky. Okay. I need to see an ancestry.com or something. Like, are you really blood cousins? Because I have never seen nothing like this. Now, granted, Eris is the only child. So maybe she sees him more as a little brother and she's protective over him. But you're coming off as rude. So it just really don't make no sense. So Jasmine's like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's just us and our marriage and we just have to live for what's going on with us. So then she goes off to get her vacation braids, honey, because you know how we like to do. Back over on the other side, everybody's getting their little baskets telling them where they're going, right? So they find out they're going to Jamaica, with the exception of Gina. She going to the Bahamas. And baby Gina looked at that flag. She said, it's the Bahamas, right? Child, it's all the chemicals. It's all the chemicals she been using on that hair, child. So Nicole is asking Chris, are we going to have sex on the honeymoon? Child, Nicole ready for sex on the beach, honey, the drink and the man. Do y'all hear me? So then Shaquille tells Kirsten, well, I'm still in school, right? And I have a conference. So we're going to swing by the conference first and then we can go to Jamaica. We got to hit up Jackson, Mississippi first. Child, please. Now, I don't care what the people saying, honey. And despite what anybody feel about Kirsten, that would have been a Zoom conference. If you were married to me, I'll be on the beach in my leopards with my rum punch waiting for you. I'm sorry I felt Kirsten on that, being upset. But I also feel like he knew ahead of time. Like you could have told her this well before now, because now she's excited about the honeymoon and we're not going straight to the honeymoon. A whole day is a lot to miss. Child, he ain't gonna never get no kiss. He ain't gonna never get no kiss. Here go Kirsten. He has to make it up to me, ma'am. You won't even let the man kiss you. There's nothing to make up for. Go on over there and do what needs to be done. Honey, sit in the hotel room. I guess he just wants you in the same place and then go on down to Jamaica, Mom. So they all meet as couples for the first time, ready for some fun in the sun. They're in the lobby. Everybody's meeting. Oh, hey, you were matched with her. Oh, that's awesome. You know how they like to do. So Eris was like, listen, I'm ready for a little pom-pom in Jamaica. Okay, I'm ready to get intimate with my wife and get sensual. I was like, what? So child, they're getting on the plane. And McKinley said he has to do first class because he does not like a middle seat. I said, come on, first class. Baby, I like that. That's a little bit of a special touch. I like that. So they land in Jamaica. Listen, ever since Mirla complained about that old folks retirement home that they stayed in, they have been given the zhuzh ever since. So y'all can go on, thank Mirla. Because the honeymoons are honeymooning. So they land in Jamaica and we get an update from Kirsten. She's in Jackson, just sitting in the hotel room. And when she said she was just sitting in the hotel room, I was just thinking, why didn't he just let her go to Jamaica? Because if I'm going to sit in the hotel room, I would rather sit in the hotel room with a view of the beach. But I digress. So they get to the rooms and Eris is like, can you feed me grapes in this tub? So he all sprawled out. And she's like, right now? He said, yeah, feed me grapes. I'm a king. She said, yeah, you are a king. Let me go get the grapes. Girl. So then she comes out and she's like, do you want grapes or you want watermelon? Girl, you better not feed that man no watermelon on this screen. You better not feed that man no watermelon on this screen. And Eris, this is not coming to America. Get your ashy feet and your ashy ankles out that tub. This right here told me that he's going to expect Jasmine to cater to him. And I hope that he also takes care of her, but I know that he is not, because we already know that he's spoiled and his mom still washes and folds his clothes. So this right here is going to be a mess. Moving forward. Chris and Nicole. So they're in the room and they're talking, and she's like, oh my gosh, I haven't been on a vacation in forever. It's been like a long time. So he tells her he went on a vacation with a girlfriend and it didn't go so well. So she was like, what happened? He said he felt like he was with a complete stranger. She wouldn't do anything with him. She wouldn't even kiss him. She wouldn't hold his hand. Oh, poor Chris. He said she was also saying like the meanest things to me. Well, you know what? It is her loss. And ex, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. It is your loss. See, and that's the thing too. Nice guys like Chris, women tend to run over them. She probably was just there for a free vacation. So Nicole, in the confessional, she said, you know, usually I have to ask men to share their feelings, but Chris shares his feelings very openly. So Nicole tells him that she has vacation anxiety, which is a fun fact about her, because when she's on vacation, she really lets her guard down. And she's afraid that if the person sees the real her, then they may not like her. Okay, well, if they don't like you because they see the real you, then they're not for you. Like, I can see having that fear, but you have to be yourself. They either like you or they don't. So then Chris was like, well, have you ever had a relationship that was horrible or something that stood out? So she gets a little bit emotional. And she said she did have a relationship where the guy was basically awful to her and told her that she should be lucky that he even likes her. And if she really liked him, then she would let him burn her with a cigarette. Not this fool trying to brand you, burn you with a cigarette. Say what now? When I tell y'all that was disgusting, I hope your daddy knew he was the actual serial killer. Because anybody that wants to burn or put out a cigarette on your arm has to be certifiable. They just have to be. This explains a lot. I can see Chris is all in as far as the marriage and the relationship is concerned. But like I said, I don't want him to be so enthralled that he loses himself. And I really want Nicole to let her guard down and allow him to love on her. Because I think she's going to like it, but she's going to be apprehensive and feel like she doesn't deserve it. And then it's going to be an endless cycle of her being in her head. And it's going to get on my nervous system. So don't y'all mess this up, because I am rooting for the two of you. Snooki and Vinny, don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. And that was the end of the episode. It just cut off so abruptly. I wasn't ready for it to be over, child, when it said next time on Married at First Sight. I said, what? Oh, honey, it really is. It's all or nothing. Child, it was just getting good. And then they're going to cut it off so we can go hang out with Keisha and them over at the after party. Child, y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. I'm debating whether or not I should go ahead and have my live tomorrow night, or if we should just wait for the honeymoons to kick up. Because this episode really didn't give much. They sat down, they talked to the people, and we've already seen that. And then just when they got to the honeymoon, it was over. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.